By now, you should be rather familiar with the starting cast for Jack Ramsey's world champion Portland Trail Blazers. There's the big redhead out in the center, Bill Walton. He'll be flanked by Gross and Lucas up front. Hollins and Davis will be starting in the backcourt. And for the Denver Nuggets in their road blue uniforms, Bobby Jones, Danny Issel, David Thompson, Bobby Wilkerson, and Mac Calvin in the backcourt, controlled by the Blazers in their home white, and here they come. 45 consecutive home victories, 12,666 on hand, another sellout. Bobby Jones got a hand on it and knocked the ball out of bounds. We should get into Bobby Jones right away, Keith Erickson. You had a long talk. He's bothered by a couple of physical problems.
Well, one thing is he's got a rapid heartbeat, which he has to take medicine for before every game in practice. The other thing is he's had a couple of epileptic seizures recently, which he is taking medicine 3 times a day for. So he's a little bit shaky. You know, that medicine affects him a little bit during these games.
Coach Larry Brown said sometimes he has trouble communicating. On the break, the turnover, it is Wilkerson putting Denver ahead. Also, keep in mind that the Denver Nuggets are the only team in the NBA with a winning record against the champions. 1-0, that game in Denver. Nice block by Jones.
Down at the defensive end, I think the Trailblazers are about the only team that the Nuggets can't run that backdoor lob pass for David Thompson for, because Bill Walton sees it coming and he's such a great defensive player.
And there, Keith, was an example of what Thompson has to do to compensate, is shoot outside. Mac Calvin hits it for Larry Brown's Denver Nuggets. And sometimes, well, Thompson is not one of the best outside shooters in the league. I guess you'd prefer him to shoot out there than inside on that slam dunk is with the alley-oop pass.
No question about that.
Here's the big redhead up on Danny Issel, and Walton puts it down. Isn't it interesting, Keith, that there's not a single player on the Trailblazers averaging 20 points a game? It shows you how meaningless scoring statistics are for individuals. It's what you do as a team. First quarter from Portland, Oregon. It is the Blazers 6 and the Denver Nuggets 4. Portland has not lost at home since last March. Mac Calvin. Controlled again by Walton. Outlet in the middle, Gross on the move, and Davis at the color to the hole. Great block by Jones.
Hey, these two teams are great. This play is one of the most exciting plays you'll see, one of the prettiest plays in basketball. Walton getting the rebound before he hits the floor, getting out to Bob Gross, who makes a beautiful lead pass to Johnny Davis, going in, and watch Bobby Jones come back and just block this shot beautifully. What a fantastic play. Well, that was a nice play by Lionel Hollins, forcing him to the sideline and making him go out of bounds. But not, on the other hand, Bobby Wilkerson should have given the ball up to David Thompson, who was in the middle, would have had a perfect fast break from that point.
Look at Jones front Walton, Keith. They break away from the double team, but they want to control him because he's such a great passer. This time he'll come up with a shot. Gross got it up with a left hand. One of the more underrated men in the NBA, coming right back with a shot.
You know, we talk about the great rebounding on this team between Walton and Maurice Lucas. Bobby Gross is the top offensive rebounder on the Trailblazers.
Thompson, Gross staying with him, and Walton slides over and slaps it away. Hollins in the middle had it knocked away by Mac Calvin. Jones now, the Nuggets on the turnover come right back. Mac Calvin goes to Wilkerson inside, pretty pass, and again the defense was there.
Bill Walton's presence just makes it so tough on the other team. He's just phenomenal.
Walton coming down to make it 5-on-5, inside pass, eluded Davis momentarily, so he'll bring it back now and set it up. Here's Hollins, and Thompson goes right up there to match him, and Jones down off to Calvin. Issel is the pivot man. Walton gambled, missed. Issel to the hole.
Here's Dan Issel taking the ball to the basket. Johnny Davis moving a little bit, not really in good position to draw the charge on that play.
Blazers up by a field goal. 6:55 to go, first quarter from Portland. Walton wanted Hollins, and they cut him off. It was good pressure by Issel that time. Wilkerson hits Thompson with a pretty pass. The last road team to win in Portland, Cleveland, 113-101 last March 4th. It has been almost a year since the Blazers lost a home game. Jones throws it up gently. Nice touch on that shot. High to 12. Neither Larry Brown nor Jack Ramsey has gone to the bench yet. Jones on the interception, and this should be an easy one. Calvin leading Wilkerson, who'll take it himself. Lucas rolled up a miss. He's been shooting red hot last 10 days. Thompson in the middle has got Jones. And now it is the Denver Nuggets who are showing us some team basketball. Bobby Jones going out to get a rest. because of his medical problems, I imagine Larry Brown and the Nugget staff will keep a very close eye on Jones as this game unfolds. Down the stretch, and Larry Brown thought they could put it away, but Lenny Wilkins-Sonic's no pushover right now. Thompson goes high off the glass as the final seconds tick off here in the first quarter. Oh, Steele has got it every time we show up to do a basketball game. I thought it was Randy Smith.
Randy Smith in disguise.
Take another look at it.
Look at the seconds clicking off
I
here.
didn't think he had a chance to hit this shot.
Larry Steele took an old-fashioned two-handed set shot from well
And
over
there
midcourt.
it goes. 26-22, Denver over the champions.
You think he meant to bank it, Brent? That's really fantastic. You know, we talk about how great Bill Walton is. Here's Tom Owens. His replacement has come in. He can shoot the ball. He can pass the ball. He's a great player in his own right. What a fantastic replacement.
David Thompson enjoying one of the great individual years of any performer in the NBA. Pops that one. The Nuggets stay up by 4. They have come to play this afternoon, this Denver crew. They want that record to end right now. Hollins off. Taken off by Lloyd Neal. Dave Twardzik is in the middle. Great percentage shooter. Goes to the hole. Jones is off. Takes it back. Hits Neal. Not there.
These guys really pass that basketball. No wonder they get such great high percentage shots.
Now it is Denver's turn. Back comes Roberts. Jones goes inside to Tommy Lagarde, and Owens blocks it away. Foul is called. It'll go over to Portland as Thompson was dueling Steele.
Bobby Jones makes a great pass down here to Tom Lagarde, cutting underneath the hoop. Doesn't bother to fake. He just takes it up, and Tom Owens makes a very nice block. And you notice Lagarde's left arm into Tom Owens. They called him for an offensive foul.
Keith, that's 2 fouls on Tommy Lagarde. Steele goes to Hollins. Up over Simpson.
Portland hasn't been shooting the ball very well from the outside so far in this game. I think Larry Steele just hit their only outside jump shot.
Bobby Jones with a quick dribble and a left-handed shot for the Nuggets. So it's back to 4. Denver leading with 9:16 left in the first half. Deal out on Jones. They go back to Simpson, who had maneuvered. And again, as those men are cutting to the baskets, grabbing going on underneath. And we got another foul. Did a good job on the defensive board. And Jones on the move has got Thompson. And David, who has been phenomenal this year for the Denver Nuggets. Only player in the NBA who has not been held below 15 points in any single game. You're watching him on defense right now against Hollins. David Skywalker Thompson. Now Denver stressed its defense and trying to give Portland but one shot in the first half. We'll see how that works out here in the second half. Wilkerson with a pretty drive. Got inside and hit it. Nuggets back ahead by 2. Lob to Walton. It works again, even with Issel rather than Lagarde. Bobby Jones has left the game, and Hillman checks in. I wonder if he's, again, is encountering problems with that medicine that sometimes makes him drowsy, and Larry Brown very concerned about that. Hillman, straight up, one shot for the Nuggets. Goaltending is the call as Hillman comes racing in. There's Bobby, seated alongside Larry Brown. What a proud athlete he is. I know how he has to be affected mentally by having his game slow down somewhat. Issel puts it down on Bill, and Walton blocked it.
You know, it's too early in a game like this to say that the game is really, this is the turning point in the game to say it was won here. But Bobby Jones coming back in, you know, Larry Brown is thinking obviously the same thing. He's got to get this team back on the track right now.
Thompson makes a pretty move underneath Walton and got it up. So it's 62-56. It's 6 points right now. Thompson cutting Gross off, not giving him that baseline avenue. Davis came around Walton. Bill will take it right back. They front him, deny him. Hollins has it blocked by Jones, who just came off the bench. What a difference Bobby makes. Wilkerson to the basket.
That's the value of having Bobby Jones on the floor. You know, he hasn't been scoring as much as he usually does, but just defensively, he's the best defensive forward in the game.
Pass, and David Thompson stepped over into the lane as Davis was coming down. Take a look at this. Thompson anticipated, and watch how Walton passes.
Look at that. Walton sees Johnny Davis coming through. Here's Bobby Jones back in there. David Thompson, Ralph Simpson. Tough getting through the three guys like that.
Gross fronting David Thompson. We got to watch Bobby Gross on defense. He's so active. Simpson coming up with the shot, and Walton gives Denver but one shot. Now it's off to Gross, who loses control, regains. Here's Hollins. Walton wants it, goes inside to Gross. This time they had it clogged, and back come the Nuggets. Davis across the midcourt line. They'll slow it down and set up a play.
Brett, how many teams in the league do you think would like to be in a situation where they can keep their power forwards, one of the best forwards in the league, on the bench this long?
It's so hard to find even one good power forward. You know, leave alone two, Keith Erickson.
Just phenomenal.
And, of course, Neal can also play small forward as he did the other night. Simpson had it elude him, and on the turnover, Walton. Now watch Gross go with Thompson inside. Here they are. Gross trying to work on defense against one of the best men in the NBA. Thompson got a hand on it, and there's Jones. And credit David Thompson with hustle. For the game, 54% for Portland, 45% for Denver. Trail official Rako picked up the call that time.
It's great to see the reaction of the players out here when a foul is called on that they don't think has been called. Lionel Holland just threw up his hands and still smiling about it. Me?
Head of officials Norm Drucker watching here this afternoon. Thompson's shot scooted out. Jones gives Denver a second chance, and Simpson hits the field goal. We're in the third as Johnny Davis flows in with 3:49 to go. It's a 10-point Blazer lead. Larry Steele will check back in for the champions. Walton out on Issel. It's Jones. There's a mismatch, and Issel went gliding past, took the pass, and hit it. 76-69. Steele cuts off Walton inside. Dish to Lucas on the turnover. Here come the Nuggets. They've got him 4-on-2 right now. They should convert. They couldn't get the layup, but they settle for the perimeter shot and make it count. So it's back down to 5. They've cut that 10-point lead in half.
Lionel Holland still over there chewing at the official. Didn't like that call at all.
Steele will take Thompson, and he's got to work hard to try and deny him the ball. Blocked by Owens, who came up, and the foul is called. Now we come down to 7:35. We've got a 5-point lead by the champions. And again, Denver's come eyeball to eyeball. But I'll tell you, I've been impressed because they didn't give up when they were down 10. Jones underneath puts it right back on them. Now, if they can keep that up, they'll be right here down the stretch all the way. It's a 3-point lead.
Well, that's definitely what they have to do, is get the ball inside, get some movement in there, instead of taking those outside shots.
Neal. Issel battling. It'll go to Denver. Thompson with the ball on the floor. Neal awaits him. Bounce pass to Jones. 2 quick field goals by Bobby Jones. We head for the stretch with the question, can Denver become the first team in the NBA to win a game in Portland since Cleveland last March? The Blazers ahead of the Nuggets 92-90. 5 minutes and 5 seconds for the game. Wilkerson, Thompson, Hillman, Issel, and Jones for Larry Brown right now. Steele fronting Jones as they battle down inside, and Rako was awaiting him too.
Well, that's a big foul right there. Here's Larry Steele on David Thompson, and then there's a switch off. Bobby Gross now on Thompson. We didn't get to see it, but Larry Steele was called for holding Bobby Jones, and that's the 15th foul for Portland already here in the 4th quarter. Denver only has 1. That is really a key play.
Now it will become so important for the Nuggets to convert at the free throw line. 4:57, only 1 team foul against the Nuggets, Keith, so they're not even close to being in trouble. Hillman out on Neal. Good pass inside. Jones came over to contest Gross, and the foul was called.
That was a beautiful play by Bobby Jones. Here's Bob Gross going back door. Jones turned his back, and that's what happens when you turn your back. His man got him to the hole. Here's Bobby Jones going up. They call him for fouling him on his body.
It's 9 o'clock Friday night for that movie about Jack Twyman and Maurice Stokes. 4 fouls on Issel. He had 3 in the first half. He played a long time without picking up that 4th one. Turnaround by Walton, just spun out, but Gross was right there. Jones dueling in. Still no whistle. And out they come. No jump ball is called. 110. It's a 1-point Denver lead.
David
Thompson comes out. He wanted it. He just said, hand it to me. I want it. They clear out. Thompson to the jump shot. And Walton off of the pass to Gross. And a bad pass by Gross. Off of Wilkerson Jones, and here they come. 50 seconds to go. Nuggets up by 1. Now we're going to have a timeout. Collins is complaining. Ramsey's out there, along with Jack McKinney.
Here's Bobby Jones again. Now watch, he's trying to hit Issel cutting down low. Walton had position on him. The ball's loose here. Here's Lionel Hollins comes over, picks it up. Takes about 3 steps with it before he puts it on the floor. He felt that he was pushed from behind, and that's why he was arguing with the official, Bob Rakel.
35 seconds now on the clock. Denver has control and a 1-point lead, so they cannot run out the time completely. Portland will have some time left. However, the Nuggets obviously could also have a 3-point lead, or even a 2-point if they're fouled and go to the line. So it's going to be very interesting to see what Ramsey comes up with on defense. Meanwhile, at the other side, Larry Brown has been diagramming a play, and it'll be important as to how many seconds they run down on this 24-second shot clock. That's going to be a very critical factor. I have seen players come out after timeouts and panic and put it up too quickly. 35 on the game, 24 for the shot. Here come the Nuggets. They lead it by 1. Will the home streak finally end for Portland? Down to 12. Thompson, the man with control. Collins on him. Thompson wanted it. Straight up. There's 19 seconds left and a 3-point difference right now. And, of course, they don't have the fast break, so the Blazers go to the timeout. Now watch Walton in the middle. When it's released, he's going to fly. 6 seconds. There he is. Issel boxed him out. It goes to Jones. They're going to end the streak. They fouled Calvin with a second to go. 101 to 99, and some of these loyal fans are finally headed for the exits in Portland. And all great streaks have to come to an end. I understand, Keith, that the Chicago Bulls had the Portland Trail Blazers on the ropes out here in the last, I don't know, something like 30 seconds. Portland quickly made up 5 points, won the ball game in regulation time. But here with 1 tick of the clock left, it's going to go the other way.
Doesn't look like they have enough time in this one, does it? Only 1.
Isn't that interesting? Denver to be 2-0 over Portland. Who do we give that Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award to? David Thompson?
David Thompson's got my vote, Trent.
I'd like to give it to the whole team, but Chevrolet might get a little upset with me this afternoon. I'm not that lenient with their cash. Walton at the buzzer. It counts. So it's 103-101. It has ended, and the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player Award goes to David Thompson of North Carolina State, and the Chevrolet $1,000 scholarship will be awarded to North Carolina State. Very nice thing just happened here in Portland. I noticed that the fans who were still here, they came to their feet and they gave the Trailblazers an ovation as they headed for their locker room. The boos you hear, well, you know who they're intended for, of course, the 2 officials. And so here at Portland, the winner is Denver, and the final score, Denver 103, Portland 101.